And then,
Oh, good timing. It's okay.
okay, we'll stop with the jokes then.
Back to business.
Okay, I'm giving George 5 minutes. I don't know that he's going to take that long, but let him have opening remarks for whatever he wants to say. Probably to thank the contractors and, you know, the people, thank the people for coming. And then I've asked Colonel Glenn Hill, who is just retired from being the president of the MMA, to introduce our keynote speaker, which is Christopher Dowling, who is the current commander at the MMA. I mean, yeah, they're both Marine colonels, and I've been to some of the festivities, the Veterans Day out at MMA. And last year, it was either last year or 2 years ago, Christopher Dowling did it, and he did a great job. So you know, he can give a little history back to Armistice Day, and you know. So anyway, I'm gonna go to lunch with him Friday, and we'll talk about what he's going to talk about. Okay, then it's time for the mayor to get up and thank all the supporters and do the official dedication, and then he and Christopher Dowling can lay the wreath on the pedestal where our plaques are. And then we can have, we're hoping to have this. Now, Colonel Dowling has requested from the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Marines, so whichever one can do it, if they can do it, provide us with a 7-man honor guard to give the 21-gun salute.
Wow.
And then we'll have the benediction from the pastor, and that's 45 minutes.
I think it's a fabulous program.
Any suggestions on any changes? Okay, thank you. There's 19 people involved in doing this. By the way, down at the bottom, below the 19 people, I've got down here, I tried to estimate some things about what we might need. I got to figure out, well, how many people are going to show up? Well, we got 19 people in the program. We've got 5 city council people. We've got 7 Parks and Rec board. We've got 4 contractors with Peacock and Mike Alex and Mr. and Mrs. Flores with Mid Valley Pavers. That's the 4. And then out of those 116 pavers that we've sold, 60 of them are local people. So, you know, we have more paver because a lot of people bought 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. One person bought 9. Wow. Mrs. Vietz, Mert Vietz, that lives in that yellow house, catty corner from Polo Circle.
Mm-hmm.
She's a big supporter of our Veterans Park.
Awesome.
In fact, I spent 55 minutes with her today, proofing her stuff, and listening to her. She's a sweet little lady. She was a science teacher. And, but anyway, so I figured 90 people, maybe, you know, in some families it'll be just one person, but some families will be husband and wife. So I figured, okay, half of them can bring a spouse, so that'd be 90. And then there may be some residents in town that want to come that we don't even, you know, that are not necessarily paver buyers or bench buyers. So there's maybe estimate 20, that makes it 150 people.
Wow.
For that little tiny triangle. And I'll show you in a minute how I think we ought to lay it out. Colonel Hill met me over there and said, I've done this before. I have some ideas. Let me show you what I think. And I think he's got great ideas.
My sister and her husband, who are now going to become Winter Texans, they just bought a home down here. They're going to be here because one of the pavers is my dad. So
Wonderful.
2 people that are sort of residents, but haven't moved in yet.
Perfect. Well, in fact, I forgot. I just drew this out about an hour ago. But here's how I think a program might be laid out. Have the American flag, have, say the City of Palm Valley Veterans Park dedication, commemorative program and the time and stuff. Then when you open it up, and here's the program. Then on this side, there's the city commission, y'all's names, and something about the keynote speaker. And then on the back, we're honoring the bench donors and the paper donors. List all of that.
Yes. Oh,
Nice.
good.
So Jose, if I give you the words. Okay, thank you.
You can do it, Jose.
Yes. Okay. Oh, by the way, here are the bench locations. So when you walk up, I guess it's kind of like this. You walk up to it. This is the first circle where the pedestal is. And here's a bench for the Mrs. Hinojosa. There's a bench with, golly, George Rivera. So those are the first two that are on this one. And then we had a room, we only thought we had room for two over here, but we've made room, 4 feet space between them. And we've got 4 benches over here. And that's going to be for Howard Pitts. That's going to be for Kay Conley's family. And Eric Hoff bought one for his dad. And Julie Harrington bought one for somebody special that's going to go here. So those are the 4 around the flagpole. And in fact, this is where I'm thinking that we'll actually, if you go over there and you look, we've got a line of trees on this side, and we don't on this side, and the parking's over here, of which nobody's going to be driving into this area during it. So that's where the people are going to be. And so we'll probably put the podium over here on this one. We'll operate off of this one. But I'll give you a little more.
It just looks so small over there.
Well, we're putting all this stuff there, but when they dug out that parking, all of a sudden, it took up a lot of space. Okay, now let's look at the budget and preparation. Like that?
No, I didn't
Oh, here
get
it
it.
is.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Yeah, you got it. That's it.
Oh, this one?
That's it.
Okay.
That's what we need. Okay, so the budget for the event. I've got, hopefully, our mayor has a connection with the Wolves, and we can save this $150, but we're gonna have to have some chairs. And I think the chairs are like $1.50 a piece, so that's for 100 chairs. Are you with us, Jane?
No.
Yeah, no, that's not the right one.
I think it was in the right, I think it's the last one.
Maybe that one.
I've been through it 3 times.
No, your last, right there, probably.
No.
No?
So Julie's not here, you can probably grab up for her stack.
Thank you. That was a good idea.
Yes, since Julie's not able to be here tonight. Thank you, Scott.
I'm here.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Julie.
Hi.
I'm glad you're feeling a little better.
Yes,
Okay, well, good. I'm glad you could join in a little.
done an amazing job.
Okay, so on the budget, the chairs, I mean, don't you think for the age of people that are going to be showing up, we need to provide some chairs?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yes. So I mean, this is budgeting 100 chairs. Okay, so then the next item is entry signs. And I priced them at Fast Signs, which I think is where Sylvia gets them quite often. And I think the sign ought to be just naming the event and the time, just to let people know, that they're invited to the event. And we're gonna, there's 5 singles and 1 has to be a double, so that we can put them at the entrances of the city and put them up. Let's see, I've got a time. on the first of November. So they'll be up for 10, 11 days before the event, so people can see them when they're driving in and out. Okay, and then we need to have a wreath. And I think, did you talk to Imelda? Okay, George is going to talk to him.
Extremely
Okay.
talented and beautiful.
Okay, so George is going to talk to Imelda, and Imelda's got a helper named David, and he is evidently very talented. So we thought we'd budget $100 for supplies and for him to put a 24-inch wreath together so that we can use that during the dedication. And then a stipend for the keynote speaker. And then 36 stick flags. Okay, and in your packet, you have from United States Flag Store. Looks like this. You can buy 12, yeah, a package of 12 is $14.80. And I'm in the distance, you know where the grass is? You can go over there, on Plum Valley Drive East, on that side, not inside Polo Circle, but along the Plum Valley Drive East side, where all the grass is 72 feet. So if we buy 36 of these, we can space them 2 feet apart. And they are 1 foot tall and 18 inches, so they're 1.5 feet long. So it's just going to be 4 US flags all along there. And I thought that would look nice if you all think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
It would really be the only thing that's there other than the site itself. And another reason why I would put it there was because if we put people over there where the parking, the ADA parking is on that side. Vision over there. Okay. Then some wise person suggested that we think about US flag lapel pins. And so here's 3 examples, and I need your help. We have 3 pages of different lapel pins. And just take a look. One of them's got a wavy flag, one of them's got a little bit of a wave, and then one of them's a little smaller. But y'all have a preference. I figured we need to order maybe 100 or 150 of those lapel pins, because Mike, tell us, you had an idea of what some people do.
Yes, what a lot of the families will do is they'll take the picture of the stone, with the dedication to our family member, the loved one. They'll take a flyer, one of the flyers with the agenda of the event, and they'll take a lapel pin and they'll pin it on there, and they'll make a shadow box at home. And review, right? We have approval there. I heard an approval, but yes. So, and a lot of people really enjoy that. That little pin it's like the cherry on top. People really like that. So they piece it all together, and it's something that they memorialize their family at home as well.
Okay.
So if you're asking for opinions, I'm using the timestamp on here. If you look in the upper left corner, there's a timestamp one, time 10:43. My first choice, 10:39 is my second choice. And then the last choice is the one 10:54. Yeah. And I'm certainly open for inspection.
Yeah, well, I agree that the smallest one at 10:54 is my least favorite.
I think it's the border around that flag is what I don't like.
Yeah, I agree. And there's no staff to it at all. I mean, it goes up and down. To me, it looks funny.
Jim Birdie.
Yeah.
Because the other one. But it seems like there's too much of a. There's much flag.
Yeah, the wavy can kind of get me.
Yeah.
Although we are in South Texas, and
Well,
just kidding, just kidding.
And they're all They're both, the two favorites so far, they're both brass. They both come with a little, clip, pin, line that clip. And they also come individually packaged, so they're in a little plastic package. So I looked at several websites and these seem to stand out to me as the best ones. Well, either, I think what Scott and Karen are suggesting is either 1039 or 1043.
Okay.
Like 1039?
So basically it comes down to wavy or not wavy.
Yeah, right.
As long as there's a way, which there is, but
You're right, the one's wavy here.
yeah, what's triple wave?
There you go, got it.
You have a preference, Mike?
Yeah, I'm really liking that 1039 one. It also looks like it has extra coating on the face of it, like it's almost.
Yeah, it gives a little bit
A
of.
little bit rounded
extra
out,
sheen to it.
yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a color printer, so it would show up a little better in the color printer.
Size wise, I'm just trying to read.
So they're real close.
Yeah, they're, I think people want to,
Yeah, one, yeah, it's just
I
our.
want to, yeah, by a very tiny fraction. So, okay, well, let's go with 1039.
Yeah, okay, that's great.
Okay.
Hold on, let's try to stop it.
No, that's okay, so. Okay, and then because the thing was going longer than I really wanted, 45 minutes, I figured we better supply some water to these people. So,
South Texas.
yeah, that's right. I mean, it's in November, but oh,
It's a perfect time to remember, baby.
yeah, I would hope. I looked at the almanac for today at that time, and it ought to be either in the, it's got to be between 65 and 75. So it shouldn't be too hot. Okay, and when Colonel Bill and I were over there, in this area where we think we want to put the chairs, it was shaded. Now, that was a couple weeks ago. And the sun is right now in the more southern hemisphere. It's going to go more northern hemisphere. It ought to provide more shade. So, I'm not a weatherman. I'm not.
John, you can't do it all.
Okay, so I figure if we buy several cases of bottled water, $25. So it adds up to $600. The city has a podium. We need 2 pedestrian signs, and I figured we can bend Jose to print that pedestrians only, and I'll show you where that's going to go. We've got to have speakers and a microphone. The city has that generator on that, and then the program. And so those don't cost anything. So the total cost is $600. Okay, I'll go ahead and show you.
John, you're going to add a couple of trash cans if we're bottled water and individually wrapped flags.
Good idea. Does the city have a couple of trash cans? And I can bring some from home. My wife's not too trashy that week.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, what I'm thinking I'm thinking we take a table, like a folding 8-foot table or 6-foot table, to set the programs on, set the pins on, set the rubber on. And, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but when we talk about who's going to do what, I was going to ask y'all. And this includes Julie. Hand out programs, pins,
Yeah.
and what.
I think so, maybe at the beginning.
So,
Yeah, otherwise somebody grabs
an
an
hour,
hour.
so each thing show up. I would, let me kind of put this thing. I know everybody can't see this, but this is stupid. This is Mount Holy Drive East. This is where the flags would go. I don't. Look at a spot, block the street here and block the street here, so that the driveways are not affected the person that lives here in the corner, or there's actually nobody living in this house, which was Mr. William Weeks' house. The house that's here has a circle drive, so they can park during that 2.5 hours, we're gonna block the street. They can park their cars there. If they need to do their house. Only the white 2-story house has some garage with an entry, driveway back. Front, they can use the driveway in the back. So the 2 houses that are single story that are here are the only real 2 houses that are going to get affected by closing the street. The people that drive on these, so that's good. Okay, so again, the trees are lined up over here. I suggest we put 19 chairs here for all the people in the program, so they can just walk right here. That's what the program is. And then this sidewalk, all of this new asphalt, the street here, with all the chairs right here. So the speaker is going to kind of be speaking this direction. The speakers there, and that's where he'll be looking. So we can have the audience will be out here. And program people wrapping down right here. And I'm sorry.
I can see.
Yeah, I can see.
You know what we're talking about. And then if somebody wants to park a golf cart, they can do it over here. They can bring their golf carts instead of cars. Parking is going to be an issue. Sorry, I don't know what we can do about that.
No.
So I would put a barricade here at the beginning of Pulitzer and one over here at this side of Pulitzer. That's where the pedestrian only signs go, so that golf cart people park their golf carts here. Vehicles don't get to come in the area at all. I'll think of that idea. Yeah. So we will have golf cart parking in here, but people don't want to do that.
Yeah, that would.
I mean, with my golf cart parking over there.
Few of the cars.
Are we gonna need a police officer to help kind of wrangle that? Do we need a police officer or 2 there to help us wrangle that?
I would, yes, we need police officers here. They're going to be, you'll see, who's going to do what. Yes, we need police officers.
So those 2 folks in the, so there's 2 houses that are kind of stuck. That do they know this is coming in?
Well,
I know they know the park is coming because they see
Okay,
it.
well, let me answer that question. As I go down.
There's a process.
Preparation for Veterans Park.
Gotcha, okay.
All right, so who's responsible for what? I will write and lay out the program, and I should put slash, we'll say. So he can put the artwork on there. So, oh yeah, there, I got him second. So create and print signs with the program participants' names in it. That's, they can do that. Arrange for the pledge of allegiance. Eric Hoff will get a veteran to do that. And order 150 flag bell pins. So you now knows which pins to order. Arrange for the wreath to be made, picked up. That would still get you. Should I change that to George? Should I change that to George?
We should keep tabs on for us.
Okay, yeah. At least in my family, Darlene is in control. She makes me think I am, but really she is. Arrange for someone to hand out programs. That's where the Parks and Rec board. So the programs, pellet pens and water.
Did you show us what that table was gonna be?
Well, I know I didn't show you that. What do you think it ought to be? I'm wondering if it ought to be maybe on the sidewalk right here. It's like in front of. Right. Or we could be, or we could put it in between the program. Program chairs and all the rest of the chairs are over here. So what do y'all think?
I think, like you were saying, as they come in, people sit down.
Yeah.
Maybe put it over here.
Yeah.
So that they don't have to get up and walk back. Yeah.
That's a good idea. Okay, so we're gonna put it at the entrance to get into that area.
Is it one table or two tables? We have residents.
Think we need two tables?
I mean, I think one people would be sufficient.
One table.
Most of the, I mean, the bars are gonna be in the cooler anyway, we're just gonna take a few out of the time.
I didn't hear the question. What was the question?
The question is, where do we put the table where the programs, lapel pins, and water is going to be? Now Karen is suggesting that we put it over here where the people are coming in to go sit down and all. That's going to be the main entrance to the event. So we want to put that table there so they can pick up the program. We all can be there to hand out programs, pins, and water as we get up.
Gotcha.
You agree? Okay.
Yes, I'm taking notes.
Okay. Okay. And I got Sylvia Trevino down here for buying frozen water. And she doesn't have to physically do it, but she can get somebody to do it. And print, it's 200 programs. Print those programs out. We have a color printer, right? Okay, perfect. Okay, now, discuss. Notified neighbors of street being blocked off several times, 30 days in advance, like 7 days in advance, in the day before. City staff can do that. But we've got to notify those people at least 3 times. People forget, so we give them plenty of notice a month in advance and a week in advance. In case they forget, we're telling them the day before.
Just so.
Right. Yes, we're gonna close off the circle. Right. Right, yeah, because it's not gonna affect anybody that are on Palm Valley Drive East. It's only gonna affect those people that are on Polo Circle. Okay. Print the entry signs announcing the event. City staff get that done. We'll set those up on the 1st of November, so they're up for 11 days. And block off the street, city staff, the PD can do that, and I'll talk to the police chief to show him exactly where we need to put that. And I'm figuring from 9 o'clock, so the event's at 10 o'clock, block it off at 9 o'clock, and block it when it's over at 10:45. Everybody will be dispersed by 11:30. Because I don't want cars driving by with people still, walking around. Okay, and then block off the circle. Again, it's city PD responsible for putting the block off the circle, the pedestrian only signs up there. City staff to pick up 100 chairs to deliver them. George Rivera City to get that done. So that way we don't have to pay. Worse, we'll just donate 100 chairs to us that day. We can go pick them up and take them back. Try to save money. Okay, and then set up the table. I figured city staff can take a table over there and set it up, and then bring the lapel pins, banners, and the water. Okay, and send 1 bottle of water. I came up with this. What do y'all think? Send 1 bottle of water and a program and a lapel pin by each program participant chair.
Yeah, it's smart.
Because everybody that's in the program would be wanting to have a drink during the time. So if there's a bottle of water program sitting on the ground right next to the chair. That'll be all set up. Put a bottle of water on top of the program. Then George Rivera said he would be responsible for the speakers, the microphone, testing it to make sure it's working. General said he could bring the podium over. I guess it's that podium right there. Bring it over. and to install the stick flags. Block off the street, pull all the flags out, and city staff will do that.
And don't be surprised if some are missing at the end of the day. It happens.
That's what happens. That's okay. That's
Acceptable
if somebody
losses.
feels the urge that they need to take one, that's fine. I don't think.
Well, it's easier to have the
Never.
three things sitting on the chair over the sit down.
Yeah, we can set them on it. If the chairs aren't, I don't know if they're flat or slanted or
Flat.
what, but yeah, that would be nice to have. Sit on each one. Plus, I want their name on every chair. So I want to make sure that the mayor, the speaker, get up and down several times. We have strategically located seats. Back row.
He's tall.
Things the over.
So I'll give Jose the name of every person that's a participant. And when we get who the veteran's gonna be, and I'll give you those names, Jose, and we just print out, 8.5 by 11, their name, and we'll tape it to the back of the chair, so everybody knows where their seat is.
That's good. You're right.
Right.
Smart, yeah.
Okay, Karen? Anything else I forgot besides where to put the toilet?
Nope, like nothing.
I mean,
I
any-
can remember.
I mean, we can-
Can I see the list of the people who bought the papers?
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, and we can still sell pavers.
Yes.
I mean, there may be some people that come to this event and say, oh my goodness, I'd love to have a
Oh,
paver.
I bet
We can keep
that's
some-
definitely
Yeah, we can keep
gonna
some of those forms there.
Yeah, so let's
There you
have
go.
a few of
That's
those
a good
forms too.
idea.
happen. Oh, yeah, very good idea.
Put that with the rest of the.
Then where the tins are.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, we may need a rock to put, we'll set, well, I don't, my paver will be in the ground by that time. We can get a paver and stick
So
it
we
on the
can have them
table.
there at the table when we're handing out the other stuff.
Yeah,
Mhm.
good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that'll really encourage some more of these.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, and they get to pay $70.
Yes. Yes.
We just don't guarantee when it'll be delivered.
Right, because it's gonna be in groups. Do
Yeah.
you remember what Wendy said about how, I think she needs 10 of them. Her machine will do 5 at a time.
Right.
So she likes to, fill up the machine
Mhm.
before they do the engraving.
Mhm.
And it takes a little time, as we're finding out, when people turn the stuff in, then it's gotta be proofed before they can actually put it in the machine. So, probably do groups of 10
Mhm.
for them to drive over here and take the one out, put the new one in, sand it, and
Mhm.
that little process.
Yeah, the installation process is to get enough pavers to make it worth the delivery and installation.
I did not bring it, but I actually measured the distance between the two circles and the widths between the two circles.
Mhm.
There are like 359 possible pavers in
Wow.
between the two circles. I've already sketched out on another thing like this how because they're going to be disjointed, one.
An offset.
Whatever you call it, like a.
Like offset, yeah.
There's a name for it, but, and I've already laid out because a lot of people said they wanted, like, I want my 8 pavers together. I want my 4 together, so I'm putting them, and I'm putting those down the center. And by the way, there's kind of a special thing. And that is to honor Mr. Weeks, who without him, we wouldn't be doing this. And he has 2 pavers. They're going to be the very first pavers that you see, right in the center, very first ones. And the 2 pavers, I'm going to say Lieutenant Colonel William R. Weeks, Air National Guard, 188th Wing. And I found that by reading his obituary. That's where I found that. And then because Mrs. Veets wanted to pay for a paver for him, and another couple wanted to pay for a paver for him. Prescott's, yes. And they wanted to make sure it said, "Stay happy," because that was a saying that Mr. Weeks said all the time. So they, in quotes, will put "Stay happy, 1935 to 2021." That's his date of birth and date of death. And then I added, "Thanks for the inspiration." So those are the two pavers. Those are the two pavers that will be the very first ones right in the center, kind of isolated by themselves before you see all the rest of them.
Awesome.
But I mean, again, these are my ideas. I mean, after talking to Colonel Hill and talking to Colonel Dowling and talking to Mike and George and Sylvia and then some other people, but but please, I mean, anything we've left out or any changes, something you don't like?
John, I noticed on here, and that Larson's bought two. Her husband will be 100 years old, and he served.
Yes.
And I wish we could 2 seconds to have him stand up or something, or,
I would imagine they'll be in a golf cart. That's how
Yeah.
they normally get around.
yeah. But I kind of think, I'm glad they.
And did you see the
I
article in
told
the
them
Valley
that a
Morning
long
Star?
time ago. Yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Now it'd be nice for George to just mention in his opening speech, hey, just want to point out these last 3 or 4 folks.
Well,
Yeah,
which he, the night of the birthday party, we weren't there, but he had mentioned that he wished that somebody had asked him to come in and speak at it. So I think he'd be willing to throw that in when he's talking. Maybe, yeah, but that would be something we could talk to, yeah.
Yeah, I think he ought to
Yeah,
be.
he
No.
does speak,
He will be
no.
acknowledged.
Yeah, I think we talked about
I
that.
told him about this a long time ago when I first met him, and so I'm so glad they did that, not because of me or anything, but I'm glad they followed through and did that, and they're the ones I said I was gonna get a vote for,
Ah,
and then,
yeah.
yeah, he's 100.
Yeah, I think
John,
that's a good idea. Yes,
when you're doing your introduction, I love this, sharing this about, the Weeks and that they started this, kind of how this came to be. Is that, who's going to tell that story?
I think,
That's
I think that's for the mayor to do.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, but I definitely think that needs to be said. And I will probably sit down with the mayor and talk about what he's going to talk about. And that's on my list. And
Okay, yeah.
Larson's on there also.
Because I do think that really helps the neighborhood understand why that location was chosen and
Yeah.
kind of the history of this.
John, may I see that list?
Lois Shreve and 10 other neighbors gave $100 that year to get that started,
Huh.
that park. Of course. Yeah.
I think it needs one.
They gave $100 each, yeah.
Oh. Any other ideas? Definitely like the idea of a couple of trash cans. Like the idea of the location. And getting the order forms over there so people can
Yeah, that would definitely. be
add some more. Because we have room, there's gonna be like 1,300 pavers. So, because all the pavers between the sidewalk and the first circle, also we can put pavers there eventually. But I thought the meat of it is in between these two circles. So that's why we're gonna put the first pavers there.
He's done a lot of amazing hard work.
Plenty of room for papers.
Yes. my goodness.
Very good.
Thank you.
As is.
I had a lot of help from a lot of people.
So let's talk about our role. So you want us to be able to hand out water, the flyers, the flags, sort of direct people to chairs.
Kind of greet people.
Yeah.
People as they're.
Yeah,
coming.
great people.
Do we get like a sash or a big hat?
All crowns.
Well, those hats with the-
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, there you go.
Some people that don't have a lot of protection on the top of their head might need
That's
it.
kind of what I'm saying.
I'm not thinking of anybody in particular.
Julie's blinded by the glare of the camera. So I will do my best to be there. I gotta find coverage for my class, so, yeah,
But that day is a federal holiday,
but we're open.
but y'all are open that day? Okay.
I've been frantically getting online to check to make sure that I'm not missing something.
Okay.
Um,
But by the way, since we did such a fantastic job selling pavers and benches, we had originally budgeted like $3,000. Since as I told you earlier, we've collected over $8,800.
Wow.
And I'm working hard to try to spend that before September 30th.
Yes.
We've already paid for we've paid the contractor $8,915. We bought the flags, that's paid for, and we've bought the benches. And the check's going tomorrow to hand it to them. So we may go ahead and maybe buy a couple of these items for the program. And I'll have to talk to Mr. Peacock and see if he needs another draw between now and the end of the month. So that I'm going to try to, my instructions from the mayor is spend the money that you've got. So we can maybe have a little bit of room in next year's budget,
Yes.
The city's fiscal year is at October 1 to.
September 30th.
Okay,
Right. But the city council approved $35,200 for next year's budget.
great.
So that, we ought to be in plenty good shape.
Strong work.
So
Looks great.
anything else?
I think that covers it.
All right. Well, if y'all think of something, let me know. Because I'm
Well, just off the top of my head, since there might be money that needs to be spent,
Okay.
would it be safe to order more flags for the light poles?
Well, we've ordered 4, thanks to Scott's suggestion at our last meeting.
You say for the
No,
flag?
no, for the light
For the
poles,
light poles,
the ones
what-
that decorate the neighborhood.
That's
a brilliant
banners.
idea.
Yes, the banners, yeah.
Where we hang the banners on the poles.
That's,
Thank you.
that's
That's
a
a
awesome
wonderful
idea,
idea.
yes.
Okay, we could probably do that.
Yeah.
Now, are you thinking 4th of July type banners? Are you thinking Christmas banners or?
I would
US
think,
flag,
yeah,
something, at least,
something you could put up for Veterans Day and maybe Memorial Day.
Okay,
Yes,
so,
exactly.
so if that's the case, then we would also need to communicate with CP&L about, or.
Being able to post them for us.
Hang them.
Yeah, correct.
Or we'd have to, I think it costs about $250 if we have to go rent something to hang them ourselves.
Mhm. Okay.
That's a great idea. And I would fully support that.
Thank you,
It's
that's
great.
wonderful, yeah.
Yeah. That makes me think of if we're going to be doing that, and maybe you know the answer, maybe you know the answer, if somebody else does. When we raise the flag at the event, is it full or is it half staff?
No, it's full. In fact, one of the items that we could have is somebody, and I've got a volunteer to play taps.
Mhm.
However, Colonel Dowling and Colonel Hill said, if you do that, then you got to go take the time to take the flag down to half mast.
Staff,
right.
yes,
And
yes.
I don't think we want to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And plus, there's people still alive that are being honored.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I don't think-
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I was clear.
So no, we take the flag all the way to the top.
Perfect.
Mhm. Yeah, and then when usually when they're presenting the wreath, they're playing taps and then they're lowering the flag all at the same time.
Right. Right. So and that saved me a couple of minutes too. So, and I will talk to Valley again on Friday and the mayor as we work out what they're going to say and how long they think they need. These are the maximum limits. If I can trim this thing back to, save 5 minutes, I'd like to. It's 45 minutes is longer than I wanted it to be. That's,
Do we have any thoughts of if, knock on wood that it doesn't happen, do we have any thoughts on inclement weather,
Plan B.
which is,
Maybe the tenth.
oh my goodness.
Maybe.
and I don't want to put that in the universe.
No, it does happen. Yeah, it does happen. It's happened to us a couple of times. It was more of a rain delay where I had to say halt everything for about 30 minutes, rain passed, and then it was rain on again. Continued after that. But it was just a small delay. Unless it's a huge storm raining for hours,
We should have an idea a day or two before.
And there's been times where it's been slight drizzle and we just continued on.
Right.
Even the slight drizzle. And actually the speakers will talk a lot faster and will run.
Well, we have this extra money that if we had.
Whatever it
And
is.
then also that, you know, how much there was to hang or lights. I go.
That's, I guess until what happens. I'm gonna get to you, Joe.
I was actually scolded by a vet that said, when we were over there, nothing stopped us. I'm like, okay, we're rolling.
That's a good point.
We gotta think about the audience.
Yes.
Not the veterans.
Yes.
A Marine's gonna stand there, no problem, but I'm worried about the Larsons. And people like that. Julie, you got the floor, Julie.
Oh, I had a question. Just in case this thing goes longer, do we need a porta potty?
I was thinking the same thing. Where would we put it?
We've never had one.
I don't think it's gonna go longer.
Okay.
And get it shorter.
Maybe Mrs. Shreve will donate her house across the street.
I'll tell Lois we maybe all get out of the lot.
I think, now, there may be some people after the event is over that want to go walk over and look at their papers. So people will mill around probably afterwards a little bit. But if they've got to go, their business, they'll leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
If y'all think of anything else in between now and the event, and we'll probably need to have another meeting, maybe in October sometime.
Yes.
And we'll kind of last minute, something comes up.
Updates on the progress and any other ideas and how to spend. Or actually, we're already gonna get a new budget by then, so. It'll be good.
Very good, then I think we're motion to adjourn. Jane and Scott, so we are adjourned.
Right on.
She's coming. Oh,